Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today we bring you loot from 10,000 Ogre Coffin keys. Purchased for 12.8 million, the goal for this video was to see just how much profit would be made from 10,000 openings of all of the coffins with these keys, and also to explore the drops in general, what can be offered and obtained from all these coffins, especially 10,000 of them. The gear for this video is just a set of full graceful, and just alongside that the construction cape was used for banking. As you can see here on screen, just running directly south of Castle Wars Bank, you can end up at these coffins here, and if you stand on this one specific square, then this is great for opening 2 caskets simultaneously. And ideally you want to bring 20 Ogre Coffin keys per inventory. This seems to be the perfect amount so that nothing is left on the ground, and at this rate, from what you're seeing on screen here, you can open about 500 of these coffins per hour using this method, meaning that this video took just about 20 hours to complete. Released into the game May 17th, 2005, these keys are members only, and they're not stackable in the inventory as you've already seen, but they are stackable in the bank. These Ogre Coffin keys are an item that is used to open a locked coffin during the Zogre Flesh Eaters quest. The Zogres and Skogres, as mentioned in the intro in the video, do drop these Ogre Coffin keys 100% of the time, and the only other monster in the game that provides these keys would be Vedion. I don't think many people kill the Zogre or Skogre due to them just being really involved with the Zogre Flesh Eaters quest, so most of the time I would imagine all of the Ogre Coffin keys that come into the game are from Vedion, which is a deep wilderness boss, and he drops 10 noted keys, so decent drop over there. If you are curious on how to kill the Zogre and Skogre, according to the old school wiki, the most effective way to do that would be using a comp ogre bow with brutal arrows. The buy limit for these Ogre Coffin keys is 3,000 at one time, and the daily volume is actually only 3,100, so it can take you a while to gather these keys, especially if you're looking for a deal and you're looking to buy when the price is at its lowest point. I'm not too sure of the demand for these keys. I mean, this has been a known money-making method in old school RuneScape since the very beginning. I mean, there's been an Ogre Coffin key video made almost on a yearly basis by many different YouTubers, and every single one of them has made profit while doing so. So this is no new thing. A lot of people do know about this, but not a lot of people really do stay consistent on old school money making methods. So it's going to be kind of a gamble to see if these keys go up or down in the future, but I am curious to see how that goes. And as you can see in the bank, the loot ranges from coins to axes, pickaxes, daggers, nails, and a lot of miscellaneous items such as a knife, a rusty sword, damaged armor, leather bodies, even some gems such as the opal and the jade. You can also expect to get 1 herb from these coffins, and this being the lantadime. It is pretty rare, but that is the only herb that you can receive. The easy clue scroll is also one of the highlights on this drop table, and definitely a highlight for this video. Every single one of them was done, and over 100 were completed. So not only are you guys going to get to see loot from 10,000 Ogre Coffins, but at the very end you will see 100 easy clue scrolls opened, and if any masters are obtained from that, you'll see that as well. I would say the drops from these coffins are definitely the highlight of this video. I mean, the one thing that we haven't mentioned from the drop table would be the bones. These are really hard to pronounce, so bear with me, but here I go. The Zogre, the Farg, the Rarg, and the Org bones. The Org being at a staggering 28k with a 3.75% chance to receive it while opening these coffins. As you can imagine, the lower cost of the bone, the higher the chance to receive it, similar to many things in this game. And without the bones being on the drop table, Ogre Coffins could and would never be profitable. These bones truly are old school, but they also are very expensive. And if you're curious as to why the Org bone is so expensive, it is because mainly just the rarity of them. You can only obtain it by killing a Slash Bash, which is the boss from the Zogre Flesh Eaters, or of course stealing them from the Ogre Coffins, as you can also thieve from these coffins instead of using a key, but that takes much longer, and I don't think it's even worth looking into much. And according to the wiki, the boss in the Zogre Flesh Eating quest does not respawn once you kill him, so these bones are essentially impossible to farm, but when buried you do get 140 prayer XP, and when used on a lit altar you get 490 prayer XP, so there's no question as to why these bones are 28k a piece. And I actually always thought thought that General Grador, you know, Bandos, for the longest time, I thought he dropped these bones, but apparently I was wrong. So back to the Ogre Coffins. You know, these Ogre Coffins are located in the level 1 basement of Jig Gig, and directly outside of him, south, which is where you've seen all of these coffins being opened in this video. And accessing these Ogre Coffins does require partial completion of Zogre Flesh Eaters, and attempting to pick lock the chest before you do this will just get you a message that says, you know, start the quest first. And it is important to note that failure is frequent when you're trying to steal from these, you know, coffins. Even if your thieving level is in the 80s, which you only need 20 thieving to actually thieve from these things, you will fail quite a bit, even at 80 thieving. So, you know, I was just reading that on the wiki myself, and that's why I just went ahead and used keys instead of trying to kind of break in the coffin for free. I would much rather use something more reliable and something much faster. Doing the level 1 clue scrolls is definitely optional when doing this. I mean, no matter what, you will make profit, and as most of us know, easy clue scrolls really don't result in that much money compared to mediums or hards. You know, for any Ironman accounts out there who need certain clue scroll items, I would definitely recommend you doing them. And I did find it interesting that, you know, although the Zogre and these Ogre Coffin keys were introduced in 2005, another monster in RuneScape, the Jogre, which is kind of like an ogre, it's just green. You can find them in the jungle. This guy was released in 2003, so I think as it goes for all the ogres in RuneScape, the Zogres aren't quite the oldest. The first ever ogre that was actually introduced was the 9th of April 2002, this being the original one. And then you have the Jogre in 2003, nothing in 2004, and then you have the Zogre followed by the Mogre in 2005. And there was a couple monsters that did stem off from those. So yeah, it's really interesting. You know, I definitely will do a ogre loot video one day far in the future. I'm sure probably along the lines of 10,000 of those. In similar form, I will be killing Jogres as well, and most of these things do offer champion scrolls on top of many other things. So that'll be interesting to kind of do some research on. I really do enjoy seeing and reading the history behind a lot of these monsters and things in this game. Although I know that I can't pronounce a lot of it, it's definitely always intriguing. As you can see on screen here, this is 100 easy clue scrolls obtained. Unfortunately, there was one casket opened a little prematurely at the very beginning of the video. That's where that bronze trimmed did come from. Accidents happen, you know, but yeah, still had just a little bit under 300 keys left to go, and this was really the end here. As you can see, all of that lovely loot stacking up real nicely in the bank. A lot of items you can get from this. And after about 20 hours of opening these coffins, loot from 10,000 Ogre Coffin keys has been completed. And before we get into the actual price check and of course opening up all those clue scrolls, there is something that we have to do, and that of course is polish all of these 214 buttons. And after that, we do have to fix 360 damaged armor pieces. This you can do in your player own house. As seen on screen, I did want to fast forward these clips. Luckily, this alternate account does have a max POH, so that does come in handy for many other things. And on top of fixing all that damaged armor into plate bodies, we did go ahead and fix the rusty swords as well. Over 400 of those. So much for saving them for loot from 1,000. I guess we'll have to do that another time. Honestly, I'll probably do a bigger one than 1,000. I don't think that would even be worth uploading. But nevertheless, as you can imagine, you know, this is content that's been in RuneScape for a very long time. These rusty swords and damaged armor. 17 years old now, and so many different things you can do to obtain these very strange and useless items. Although you can get a mithril plate body from the damaged armor, and at best I think you can get a mithril longsword from the rusty sword. So it's nothing like Rune or Dragon, but you know, it's not too bad. I will say, you know, looking at all these items, as you guys can imagine, most of the profit, most of the real money is all gonna come from the bones. And hey, I mean, if we get lucky with the easy clue scrolls, there definitely will be profit from those as well. And here we are ready to open up 101 easy clue scrolls that we did get from all these Ogre Coffins. Of course, we did have that one already open, so I guess technically this would be 102. And yeah, I actually didn't think that all those armor pieces as well as rusty swords would amount to much, but as you can see in the bank, it really does stack up to a decent amount of things. And yeah, this account, Boyo420, has actually never really done many clue scrolls in general. Specifically, it never did easy clues, so all of these were tracked from start to finish, as you can see. Other than, of course, the the Bronze T from the first reward, which is like 114k. We did get Wizard G followed by Wizard T, and also some Lunar Teleports. So the RNG was actually really good here at the start for these easy clues, and I managed to pick up a sleeping cap as well. The irony behind that one. If you guys are curious, you do enjoy seeing these clips, make sure to check out the description. I did throw in loot from 1,000 easy clue scrolls in there, so if you do enjoy easy clues, feel free. And yeah, this is really just a bonus. I consider this alongside the rusty swords and the armor pieces just to be a bonus on top of the price check. When you're opening these Ogre Coffin keys, really just focus on the normal drops, all of the random items, miscellaneous stuff alongside the bones. That's going to be your basis for what you can expect. Of course, if you have all the requirements to do the easy clues, you can definitely do that and make some extra money. Saw a few pages as well. Very few pages are worth much these days, but the ancient pages and Armadillo still hold value, so shout out to that. RuneLite unfortunately did not track the Ogre Coffin, so I don't have any RuneLite screenshots to show you guys, but everything was tracked accordingly and pretty accurately in the bank tabs. And to my surprise, from 102 easy clue scrolls, 0 master clues were seen. Very disappointing. Master clues are actually being stored on this account. There's, I think, 14 so far caskets in the bank, so hopefully we see some more of those in the future. And with 7 caskets remaining, lucky number 7, we do see ourselves getting another sleeping cap. So yeah, no master clues like I said before, but let's go ahead and price check everything in the bank. This is going to be the normal loot from Ogre Coffins. First price check will no doubt be the biggest. This is all of the bones, the pickaxes, the weaponry, the gems, nails, and the coins. All of this coming out to be 20.3 mil. Already know we're in the green, seeing as we only spent 12.8. This is awesome to see. Now for all of the damaged armor that we did turn into plate bodies, as well as all the rusty swords that we did turn into long swords. Another 200k from that, nothing too crazy. So just about 20.5 mil in regular loot from 10,000 Ogre Coffin keys. Now to price check all of the clue scroll loot, you get just about 1 mil from the very first price check. A lot of items here, just about 1.6 mil from the second and 200k from the final one. So if we do 20.5 mil plus 2.8 mil in clue scroll rewards, we did get just about 23.3 mil from 10,000 Ogre Coffin keys. Invested 12.8 mil, so you minus that from the initial price check, and we are left with 10.5 mil profit in roughly 20 hours of opening all these keys. And just to make sure everything is accurate, we will go ahead and run to the Grand Exchange and throw all this in there just to see what the overall number is. Got to see that coin stack to actually believe that profit. Seeing the price of an item is one thing, but seeing it sell is a whole nother story. As you can see, most of those bones, minus the org bones, did not sell. So you do have to gradually lower the price of these bones until they do become sellable, and then you'll kind of see your overall profit. Once everything did sell, and this was selling all of the clue scroll items, a lot of these things had to be lowered to 1 GP. We did end up with just about 21.8 mil. So it was a little short of the overall price check, but not by much. This still is close to 500k profit per hour, so not too bad. But yeah, guys, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.